Oh, yeah. Is it Saturday already? Is it yet again the end of a Star Wars news week? What are we talking about today? The Acolyte cost over $230 million to make? What is going on? Hang on. Wait, am I reading this correctly? $230 million? We're going to talk about all this, the possibility of seeing an Acolyte Season 2, whether that's completely out of the realm of possibility at this point, or whether it's not. Could we be seeing our good pal Darth Plagueis again? Also, Cal Kestis coming to live action seems to be more real than we once knew, and we'll talk about that as well. We got a lot to get into, so without further ado, let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Saturday evening? Yes, that is right. We are having a later stream today. I understand that it's 6 p.m. and not 2 p.m. I was busy, okay? Can a man be busy on a Saturday afternoon? Okay, but we have a later stream today because of that. And yes, I understand. I get it, okay? I understand. Star Wars Stu in the chat. What's up? Okay, just a familiar face. I'm sorry. I get distracted very easily, chat. We know this. Okay. First things first, let's put up a poll in the chat. Before we start anything else, before I even say hi to the chat, I want to put up a poll because this news we're talking about today is absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. In the news is that the Acolyte Season 1 cost $230 million. We're going to read all about it, whether it's true or not, which I think it is. And we're going to talk about what that means. But first things first, I want to know what you guys think. So we're going to start with this. Do you still want, or we'll put it this way. Do you want an Acolyte? That's how you spell Acolyte. Acolyte Season 2. So, yes or no? Tell me in the chat. So, I understand. A lot of people keep asking me, Mike, why is everybody still talking about the Acolyte? It got canceled over a month ago now. Actually, I don't even know how long ago now. Probably close to 2 months ago now. It's been canceled. And the question being, why does it keep coming up? Well, because it's a very, very, very divided conversation. And where there's a divide in the Star Wars fandom, there's money to be made for a lot of people out there online. Honestly, myself included, I tend to be on the more positive side of it, but I'm being completely honest with you guys. I do make money off of this thing. So with that being said, the news of $230 million being the exceeded budget of the Acolyte's first season comes as a big surprise because most fans were complaining about the already pretty large budget of $180 million. Now you add $50 million more? We'll talk about it, but first things first, tell me in the chat, do you still want an Acolyte Season 2, yes or no? And if so, tell me in the chat why. All right, second, I guess. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? Skywalker Academy, what is up? Fearless, how we doing? Kit Fisto in the house. Lee, how we doing? UV Clips, what is up? Another Mike who loves Star Wars, great name, what's up? Darth Racoonar, how we doing? J1DRZ, what's up, Jay? B-Man, what's up? The GOAT is in the chat, oh my god. The GOAT? That's crazy. JC, how we doing? Fire Fist Ace, how we doing? Great name. Star Wars Stu in the chat. You love to see those old faces. Mando United, how we doing? Starship 66, what is up? Did I get everybody? Polly Paul, how we doing? Mike, what is up? Joseph, how we doing? Tony, what is up? Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi, the high ground, the limb slicer. Great name. What is up? All right, if I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's just give everybody a nice little,
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
So I think it goes without saying, when we talk about the Acolyte, whether you like it or not, it's a very divided conversation. Some fans really, really, really loving the story. Some fans really, really, really hating the story. And some fans being in the middle of that. Usually the two extremes are yelling at each other the most, but some fans get caught in the middle and caught in the sort of backfire of it all. And today, I urge us all, in this crazy conversation we're about to have about this Acolyte show, to keep it civil in the chat, if I might ask. Civil. Thank you. Aimed Punch, what's up? What's up with all the old familiar faces back in the chat. I love it. I love it. I don't like it. I love it. Okay. Let's just read this article, shall we? Let's see what we're talking about here, chat. Shall we? Shall we just read this and figure it out together? Let's do it. Why not? Okay? Okay. Sounds good to me. All right, let's read this article coming from Screen Rant. I believe the first people to kind of get on this was Forbes, but maybe we'll read that article after. I want to read this one first. Okay. All right. The Acolyte's eye-watering $230 million budget revealed, further explaining Disney's cancellation of the show. Let's read this. Tax returns revealed that The Acolyte was significantly over budget, further explaining Disney's decision to cancel the show. Helmed by showrunner Leslie Headland, The Acolyte introduced viewers to the High Republic era. A century before the Skywalker saga, the Star Wars TV show was met with mixed reviews. That might be the understatement of the century right there. Mixed reviews. And Disney ultimately canceled The Acolyte Season 2. About a month after the first season ended. New tax filings unearthed that Park Place offered offered new insights into the Acolyte's cancellation, according to tax documents filed by Walt Disney Company's UK branch. Lucasfilm spent 172 million. Is that pounds? I think I don't even know. But $231 million on this show, meaning the budget ballooned to an eye-watering $28.75 million per episode, almost $30 million per episode. Okay, let's keep reading. This comes in significantly over budget, given previous comments that seemed to indicate the cost was $180 million. Making it the most expensive Star Wars TV show to date. And this is a true fact. I understand some of you might be saying in the chat right now that Andor cost more than this. That is true, but it's per episode. Acolyte was only 8 episodes. Andor was 12. So although Andor cost, I believe, $260 million or somewhere around there, it has 4 extra episodes. So those 4 extra episodes kind of they make the price go down because it's less per episode, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. What the Acolyte's budget means for the future of Star Wars. Did the Acolyte ever really even have a chance to get a second season? Let's read this. Sorry. The Acolyte was controversial from the outset, that's for sure, with a vocal review bombing campaign throughout its streaming run. As we have talked about many, many times before, the show came in on its first opening day with a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. So before anybody saw a single second of this show, it had a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. Its cancellation has left Star Wars fans divided, with critics of the Disney era feeling emboldened, and those who enjoyed it demotivated and discouraged. So some fans feeling very happy about the cancellation, while some fans are not. But these tax filings show the real reason that Disney Plus's TV show was canceled. Costs were incredibly high, making it one of the most expensive TV shows ever made. So let's take a step back here for a second. Give me a 1 into the chat if you're watching Rings of Power. Anybody in the chat watching Rings of Power? Chat? Anybody? Anybody? So Rings of Power is currently releasing its 2nd season. And even if you aren't watching it, then you might know that the first season cost $1 billion. $1 billion. Now the difference here is a few things. First of all, the Acolyte's episodes probably went from 30 minutes to 45 minutes, if I stand corrected. But these Lord of the Rings or Rings of Power episodes all come in around 70, 75 minutes. So they're all over an hour by far. It's the same amount of episodes, 8 episodes, but they're way longer. Now, clearly that's the most expensive show of all time. $1 billion is 4 times the amount that it costs to create The Acolyte. 4 times. Now, with that being said, Rings of Power Season 1 is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Rings of Power Season 2 is so good. This last episode in particular, no spoilers here, but was incredible. Like one of the greatest single episodes of television I've ever watched in my life. I'm not a big Tolkien fan. I mean, I like The Lord of the Rings. I like The Hobbit. I like this show, but I wouldn't call myself like a diehard. I'm not like, when it comes to Star Wars, I'd call myself a diehard Star Wars fan. But I don't know much when it comes to the lore of The Lord of the Rings. So I don't call myself a diehard Tolkien fan, which makes sense. But I know a lot of them were kind of upset about the Rings of Power. I'm not too sure. I'm not in that world, we'll put it, as I am Star Wars. But when it comes to Rings of Power, it's a masterpiece, at least from an outside perspective. The Acolyte, although I really did enjoy it, it's not nearly to the level of what the Rings of Power is. But that did get $1 billion. So when you're talking about very, very expensive shows, a show can be expensive. If The Mandalorian cost this much, it wouldn't probably be a problem, especially if it was The Mandalorian Season 2, which was, for the most part, a pretty beloved season of television. I know there's a few people out there that complain about Season 2 of The Mandalorian, but I think those people are very far and few and far between. But if this budget was put onto The Mandalorian Season 2, then I don't think the same conversation would be happening. However, we're talking about The Acolyte today. And The Acolyte already has a divide in the Star Wars fandom when it comes to talking about it. So with this number, it being the most expensive Star Wars show ever created, it's going to cause some waves. So let's keep reading. Most expensive show ever made. The Acolyte's viewership wasn't good enough given those costs. Here's how The Acolyte compares to the other Star Wars shows. Perfect. Okay, here are the budgets for Star Wars shows, as far as we're aware. Kenobi, $90 million. Now, Kenobi is the shortest. It's only 6 episodes versus 8 or 12, but it is the shortest, and it comes in at $90 million. Ahsoka is the second lowest. I actually didn't know that. Ahsoka's the second lowest. That's impressive. $100 million. Book of Boba Fett, 105. The Mandalorian, 120. Now, I don't know which season this is. Maybe it's a average of all of them. But Skeleton Crew is 136. Think about that for a second. Think about all the crazy cool stuff we saw in Ahsoka, from the world between worlds to a new galaxy to this crazy new Eye of Sion blasting into hyperspace in a crazy new way. Purgles flying through space. Like, that budget was only $100 million. Skeleton Crew is $36 million more than that. What the hell's going on in that show? What the hell is going on in that show? Because we don't really know anything about it. We'll talk about Skeleton Crew later on in the stream. But then we go to The Acolyte, which is almost $100 million more. Where did this money go? And then Andor, of course, still being the highest. I thought it was 260, but maybe it's 250. But it's 12 episodes, so it's a lot different. It's unclear quite why The Acolyte was so much over budget, but this certainly explains why Lucasfilm invested heavily into tie-ins and merchandising. While all attention is on viewership, merchandising is probably Star Wars' biggest source of income. So Disney is using merch to make up for all those costs. At the very least, this likely means the Acolyte tie-in novels are safe. Some lovers of the Acolyte have been deeply concerned. So the 2 prequel novels that were announced at San Diego Comic-Con, was it San Diego Comic-Con? I think it was. Those 2 prequel novels, one about Indara and Venestra, and then the other one about Yord and Jeggi, those are still going to be happening. There's a comic run right now coming out about Kelnaka. That's still going to be happening. All the, like, Chimere's helmet stuff, the action figure stuff, the Black Series action figure stuff, all that stuff will still happen because Star Wars makes so much money, probably the majority of their income, off of the merchandising of these products. So yes, views They're very important. In the box office, they can make billions of dollars. But when it comes to these TV shows, they make money off of Grogu. They make money off of lightsabers. They make money off of stuff that can be sold as merchandise. Not really as much money with the show itself. Disney Plus is a weird system right now. It's not really making money. Yes, there's a ton of subscribers, but they put so much money into the products themselves, from Marvel shows to Star Wars shows to Pixar shows, whatever, that they aren't making money. So the place they do make money is off the merchandising. That's why with The Acolyte, you saw so much put back in to all these other stories. And that's why they announced prequel novels and all that other stuff, so that fans would still go towards those characters. The only problem becomes, do they make a second season? And that answer is clearly no, because of this budget. So on one hand, they'll be able to make up for the loss of $230 million through viewership and merchandising. But on the other hand, that $230 million budget is way too high, and it warrants the cancellation for a second season. I saw somebody say in the chat, where's the Andor merch? Andor's a very interesting one. I don't know. Andor's an enigma. It doesn't really fit any of the current knowledge that we have about the equation when it comes to making money with Star Wars. If you cast your mind back to when Andor was first coming out, they didn't market the show well or advertise the show well at all. I know it's the lowest viewed show total of all Star Wars shows, but that wasn't for lack of trying. That was for lack of I guess it was for lack of trying, because they didn't. The advertisements for Andor were very, 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 very small. So I don't know why Andor doesn't have a ton of merchandising or didn't really get a lot of backing from advertising and marketing. I don't know why, because it's an incredible show. You think they would have tried to push that out. I really don't know. Maybe Andor Season 2 will be different. Maybe Andor Season 2, they'll market the hell out of that thing. Hopefully they will, because Andor is such an incredible story that we need everybody to see it. But I don't know. That's a great question. I have no idea. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep reading. Blah, 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 blah. Where was I? Oh, I already read that. Okay. Lucasfilm really do need to relearn George Lucas's most important lesson. Let's find out what that is. The streaming era had a massive effect on TV shows' budgets, and it frankly doesn't feel sustainable at all. These $1 billion for Lord of the Rings? Crazy. Budgets have gone through the roof. Episode counts have dropped. And season release with years in between rather than annually, Star Wars in particular needs to relearn a simple lesson from George Lucas. He excelled at keeping the cost under control, meaning even the more expensive prequels were a tremendous return on investment. Actually, this is not all that true. George Lucas is very well known for going over budget almost all of every of the time. The Clone Wars, the reason he had to sell Star Wars in the first place was because he was putting so much money into the Clone Wars that he couldn't really justify continuing the show. He was putting so much money into that show that it wasn't making any return. So that was a part of the reason he sold the company. But even going back to the original Star Wars, A New Hope went way over budget. Way over budget. So I don't know if that's the case. Now, maybe the return on investment thing with the merchandising, that you can take as a lesson, but that other part, not so much. Lucasfilm is reportedly reducing its number of live-action shows, turning a lot of attention back towards the big screen. The Mandalorian and Grogu movie, Dawn of the Jedi movie, Rey movie, etc. This is probably a good idea, because the kind of budgets seen by The Acolyte should really be reserved for theatrical releases. It is to be hoped Lucasfilm learns a lot from whatever went wrong with The Acolyte, resulting in these high costs. So we still don't know why this show costs so much. I understand when you watch it from a viewer's perspective, it looks incredible. I'm a big fan of The Acolyte. The lightsaber duels are the best we've seen since the prequel trilogy. Some of the locations, it looks visually stunning. The lightsaber duels, fantastic. I understand where a lot of money can go into that, but $230 million? How is that even possible? Where does that money go? Where? I have no clue. I don't know. So whatever issues or whatever problems came up with The Acolyte, hopefully hopefully, they can fix them. And maybe for the fans holding out hope for a second season of The Acolyte, maybe they can fix them for a second season of The Acolyte, but it seems less likely now than ever. With this budget for the first season, it doesn't seem like they would ever do that. Yeah. But tell me what you think in the chat. What do we think, chat? Let me see what you guys are saying. Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi, the high ground, the limb slicer says, Minecraft trailer was better than this. Oh my god. That's crazy. As Palpatine would say, unlimited money? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah. Smash a like, people. I agree with that. Smash a freaking like on this, you know? Give me all the Star Wars. Yeah. Sign me up. Anthony says, Mike, I'm going to bet the skeleton crew cost nothing in the realm of Headland's catastrophe. Well, based off of this, no. But here's the weird part. We were led to believe that this Acolyte show cost $180 million this entire time. And now we learn that it cost $230. Why? And are we lying about getting that? Are they just lying about Skeleton Crew's budget too? Muddy laundering? Oh my god. Okay. Moving on. John Lee says, I love the Acolyte, but to be honest, I practice witchcraft in my mid to early 20s, so I had a different perspective on that part. Oh. Okay. Aggressively Relaxing says, the people who have been complaining about Rings of Power sound just as knowledgeable about Tolkien lore as the people talking about Ki-Adi-Mundi know about Star Wars. Okay, it looks like
this is where the fun begins.
I think I have to add a boom roasted button for that. That was absolutely crazy and completely factual. Skywalker Academy says, I've been a fan of Lord of the Rings for a long, long time. I'm still not impressed by the first season of Rings of Power. What? That's crazy. It makes those old movies look like they came out 300 years ago. The main thing that it showed was the flaw and hubris of the Jedi that they were guilty of, but many fans refused and admit that existence. That is true. And honestly, it's not their fault. Being a kid who grew up in that prequel era, I understand that. Like, you grow up with these Jedi, Obi-Wan, Anakin, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Yoda, Mace Windu, all these characters are your heroes. And to think that those heroes weren't that great of people is kind of hard to get behind. So the fact that the Acolyte made the Jedi sort of look like the bad guys, Vanestra pins the entire thing on Sol, even though it's not his fault, and seeing the corruption and the cracks in the Jedi Order this early on, and of course by the time of the prequel trilogy, it's very evident. But to a kid who's watching the prequel trilogy, seeing Yoda being like, I love that guy, seeing Mace Windu being like, oh, that's a cool purple lightsaber, like, it's hard to tell them that their heroes are not the people that they want them to be. And yes, the Jedi Order is very corrupt by the time that Palpatine rises to power, by the time that Anakin becomes the chosen one and falls through their fingertips. There's a lot of corruption going on with the Jedi Order by that time. And the Acolyte just shows the beginning of that with Vanestra Rome. And it's very, very good, but some people just can't look past that. Those are their heroes. They don't want to see the bad side of them, you know? Yeah, no? Anklet, what's up? Universal, how we doing? Vincent says, 70% of you want an Acolyte Season 2? I impossible? It's impossible, maybe? I don't know. Star Wars Attack of the Clones will be on at 7 p.m. on a TV network here. Can't wait. That's pretty cool. You know you can watch all the Star Wars movies on Disney Plus. Sorry. Fearless says, I guess it was so expensive because they actually used sets, not green screen / blue screen or the volume. That could be a part of it, for sure. They did use the volume, but not probably as much as The Mandalorian does. It is interesting. I just don't know where all this money went. Is it really that expensive to do these awesome, cool lightsaber duels? Because then because then that begs the question, is it worth it? Is it worth it? For the next project that comes around that's going to be full of Jedi and Sith, is it worth spending all that money to give us great lightsaber duels like we got in the Acolyte show if it's just going to get shit on, you know? When does it not become worth it? That becomes the issue. The Acolyte is an enigma, or not really. It's a bad example because, like I said before, if the Mandalorian cost this much, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But now the conversation is the Acolyte was bad and it cost $1 bajillion. Even though I don't think it was bad, but it still cost $1 bajillion. Why? If it is the lightsaber duels, that might become a problem. Because if we want lightsaber duels to the extent that we got in the Acolyte, because they're extremely good, is it worth the cost? I say yes, but it's not my money being spent. You know? It's not me. It's not me. Yeah. Okay. Building sets costs a lot. That's true. That is true. But how much can it really cost, you know? Acolyte didn't have a hook like the Mandalorian did with Grogu. Yeah, I mean, the Acolyte's conversation around the show was horrible the entire time. It was just hate and negativity and all this other stuff. Like, it had all the bad things going on about it. When you look at the Mandalorian, people are like, oh my God, Baby Yoda, let's freaking go. Even though it's not a Baby Yoda, it's Grogu. But that's the conversation. The conversation around the Mandalorian is it's awesome. Grogu's so cute. All this other stuff. With the Acolyte, it's the opposite. It's all the negative aspects of what people really don't like about current day Hollywood being wrapped up into one thing, you know? COVID probably had the pandy probably had an impact on the budget too. Yeah, I mean, the Acolyte was filmed for quite a while. It was filmed at the same time as Ahsoka, and it came out almost a year later. So maybe they had to go back and do reshoots. That costs a pretty penny. Maybe it was the pandy that kind of made it cost more. I don't know. But other shows filmed during the pandy as well. The Mandalorian Season 2 was nowhere close to this. Less than $100 million. Yeah. Alex says, I don't want an Acolyte Season 2. Instead, invest that money into money for animated shows. That's where Star Wars really shines in storytelling. Although I agree with you, Alex, that some of the best storytelling ever exists in animation, when you're looking at it from Disney's perspective, animation gets less views than all this. Like, we talk about the least viewed live-action Star Wars show is Andor, and the least viewed live-action finale is The Acolyte. But The Bad Batch, Clone Wars, Rebels, all of that is less viewed. Like, there's so little views when it comes to animated shows, and there's not really a lot of merchandise opportunities. When it comes to live action stuff, you have more of a broader audience, and you have the opportunity to sell more merchandise. Animated shows, although they can be some of the best storytelling ever, Rebels, come on, but it doesn't make them that much money. And not a lot of people watch it, honestly. I mean, obviously a lot of people do because there's a lot of Star Wars fans, but I would say the majority of Star Wars fans do not. The normie fans, if you will. Yeah. Anthony says, Mike, the weirdest thing about the Acolyte is that it barely connects to the High Republic and didn't even present itself as linked to Phase 1 through 3 of the books or comics. That is something weird. I mean, you wrote this entire story about the High Republic. That's supposedly really, really good. I read Phase 1, and it is really good. It's connective. It's great new characters. And you don't really connect the Acolyte too much to it. An interesting approach. I mean, Vanestra Rose is obviously a character pulled directly from the High Republic, but other than that, there's not much connection. Now, maybe Season 2, Season 3, if there was going to be one, would be more connected. If Chimera and Vanestra's relationship really went back that far, it could have been. But I don't know. I don't know. This news obviously explains a lot more as to why this show was canceled. When you think about it, shows like Kenobi, which was a limited series, but shows like Book of Boba Fett, that haven't gotten a second season yet, but also haven't been canceled yet. The budget obviously was not $230 million. Actually, when we looked at the Book of Boba Fett one, Book of Boba Fett was $105 million. Less than half. So the Book of Boba Fett always has the possibility of coming back for a second season. The Acolyte, I think, because, yes, the viewership numbers, but more so because this budget, they just could not afford, or because of the low viewership numbers and the divisiveness in the Star Wars fandom, plus the budget, it doesn't make sense to make a second season of that, you know? Even for the fans who really, really loved it, like myself. And sitting here as a fan that did enjoy season 1 of The Acolyte, it does not make sense to me to make a second season if it's going to cost $250 million. That's just me. Now, if you were to make a spin-off show, let's put it, and call it the Plagueis show, Darth Plagueis, maybe him training Chimere, you could involve those Acolyte characters but change it into a different sort of world with Plagueis. Maybe even give us a young Palpatine at the end of the show. Like, maybe then you'll get some more views. You'll please some more fans. You'll also please the Acolyte fans. I honestly think, we'll talk about Plagueis in a little bit, but I think Plagueis is the route to fix all this. Yeah. Well, let's keep reading. Another Mike who loves Star Wars says, it's not into figures. What? I love building the models. I collected Hot Wheels Star Wars ships. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. In the world where Boba Fett climbs out of the Sarlacc pits 30 years later, I am personally looking forward to learning more about the Stranger's lore in the next season of Resistance. What? What are you talking about? Yeah, well, in a world where Boba Fett climbs out of the Sarlacc pit 30 years later, there's always the possibility for a second season of The Acolyte. That's why there's so many fans holding out hope, still tweeting #Renew the Acolyte, still signing petitions about Renew the Acolyte 2 months later after it got canceled, because there's always hope. I mean, that's what Star Wars is built off of, is hope. That's the first freaking movie. Honestly, all the movies, they're all about just a glimmer of hope and rebels trying to get to that hope. That's what it teaches you, life lessons about hope and perseverance. So to those fans who are holding out hope for a second season of The Acolyte, keep holding on. Might be a long ride. Yeah. Should I get pizza or make a baked potato with cheese and bacon? Pizza. Pizza. Absolutely. Universal says, I like the 6 p.m. time better than the 2 p.m. What do you guys think, chat? Yeah, what do you guys think, chat? 6 p.m. or 2 p.m.? For me, 2 p.m. works so much better, but let's see what you guys say, chat. 6 p.m. or 2 p.m.? Maybe Saturdays could be 6 p.m., but Tuesdays and Thursdays would still have to be 2. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Skywalker Academy says, merch doesn't work as well as it did when we were kids. Toys especially, with t-shirts should as well. Yeah, but there's kids now that love Star Wars, you know? Yeah, now? Damn, that's a lot of 6 p.m.s. Damn, chat. Damn, chat. Okay. I'll think about it. I will think about it. But it's probably not going to change. It just works into my schedule so much better when it's 2 o'clock. I apologize. Okay. Should we pull it up? All right, fine. We'll pull it up. I will pull it up later on in the stream. I want to leave this poll up for a little bit. Yeah. Aggressively Relaxing says, I love all these CEOs explaining their cutbacks next year on production, like it's not just because they won't pay employees and a strike happened. Yeah, a lot of this has to do with that. I mean, the cutbacks are, of course, because of all this expensiveness. Like this article talks about, right here, it talks about these budgets have gone through the roof, episode counts have dropped, and season releases with years in between them rather than annually. Like, this is where do we go wrong? How have the budgets gone through the roof when episode counts have dropped and seasons don't release for multiple years? Think about it this way. When did Last of Us Season 1 drop? 2 years ago? 1 year ago? Something like that? Season 2 comes out next year. That's at least 1, if not 2 years in between seasons. Look at Stranger Things. Stranger Things, you got 2 years in between seasons. Even Rings of Power, like we just talked about, a year in between seasons. The Mandalorian, between Season 2 and Season 3, was what? 2 years? 3 years? Something like that? 2.5 years? The time in between seasons doesn't really make much sense to me, especially when the episodes are no longer 13 or 26 or 24, whatever it used to be. Now it's 8. 8! It's interesting. It is very interesting. I wonder where all this money is going. I don't understand. I don't know. Okay. It is odd that they poured so much money into the Acolyte. That's true, too. At some point around 150 million, they didn't just go, let's stop this. 180 million, they weren't like, okay, let's dial it back here. 200, whoa, 200 million? 210, 220, 215? We're going to get to 230? How did nobody stop them? That's a big thing there, too. You know? Mystic Troll says, maybe the real Acolyte Season 2 was the friends we made along the way.
Incorrect.
Funny. We didn't get, I didn't get why everyone wanted to blame the whole Jedi Order thing for the actions of just a few Jedi. Well, the Jedi Order does fall. And they fall because they allow Palpatine to rise through the ranks of the Republic right under their nose. They're blind. They're corrupted by the time of this prequel trilogy. The Acolyte's just showing the beginning of that. Yeah. You don't really have to pay $600 for a hammer, do you? Yeah, that's kind of the weird thing. It's like, are they really just paying for the most expensive version of things, or what's going on here? You know? Being a Jedi in the Acolyte, in my opinion, just shows how religion can make people narrow-minded and ignorant. Okay. Not going there. Absolutely not touching that with the 10-foot pole. Okay. Yeah. I love watching Star Wars at the movie theaters or on regular TV. It reminds me of how I saw it for the first time. Oh, rather than on TV? Yeah, I mean, Star Wars has always been made to be on the big screen. And just because it's been living on Disney Plus for the last 5-6 years doesn't mean that its return to the big screen isn't going to be something awesome. Yeah. UV Clip says the difference between the Acolyte and Rings of the Acolyte, Rings of Power, is that the Acolyte went for quality or quantity over quality, while Rings of Power has done quality over quantity. But they're the same amount of episodes. With the Acolyte didn't use practical effects as much as Rings of Power has. Yes, possibly. I mean, practical effects do help, for sure. Like if you've seen that clip from Rings of Power. If you know, you know. So maybe. Maybe a lot of it was CGI stuff, post-production stuff. I don't know. I don't know how could you even spend $230 million? I don't get it. I would love to see what money is spent on renting IMAX and volume access for the parent company. There is so much tax fraud in these budgets. This is not the whole story. I think we're not being told the whole story, that's for sure. I mean, for a year, we thought the budget was $180 million. Now we've come to find out that it's $130 million because of some tax, what was it, tax returns? So there's some random tax returns coming out that get leaked out that this show costs $230 million. I feel like we're not getting the full story here. That's for damn sure. Yeah. Christopher, what's up? What is up? Explore the Force. How we doing? Says Rise of Skywalker cost $415 million. What? Hang on. There's no way that's true. How much? Oh my God. Did Rise of Skywalker cost to make? Holy shit. $416 million? Maybe these special effects are a little bit more pricey than we thought. What? Universal brings up a good point. $180 million could have been the production budget. Well, $50 million could have been the marketing budget to equal the 230. Yes, marketing does have to be put into play here. The marketing for The Acolyte was extreme. We got dozens of trailers before the show even aired. Now, it didn't work. It came in with a 13% Rotten Tomatoes, but there was a lot of marketing for The Acolyte show. $50 million worth of marketing? I don't know about that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It boggles my mind. I don't know where all this money went, chat. I don't know. $416 million for Rise of Skywalker is crazy. Absolutely crazy. The Last Jedi cost $300 million. The Force Awakens cost $306. So The Rise of Skywalker cost over $116 million more? That's crazy. That's crazy. The best thing ever in Star Wars is the fall of Anakin when he battles with right and wrong in the Jedi Order and wants a relationship with Padme, etc. So, Revenge of the Sith, you're saying? I'm confused. With Andor's $250 million, at least we got 12 episodes. 230 seems pretty insane for only 8. It does seem pretty insane. It does definitely seem pretty insane. Anthony says, Mike, you should also have to acknowledge that the Star Wars project comes from a branch of Star Wars creators. No, I don't agree with that. It does not. There's no hatred towards original Star Wars fans in creation of Star Wars projects. That's just not true. That would never be the case. They have Star Wars fans from the original trilogy that they want to keep around because they make so much money off of them. As a business perspective, that's just stupid. So I don't agree with that. I don't think there's people actually behind the scenes trying to purposefully piss off original trilogy or original Star Wars fans. There's just absolutely no way that could be true. Yeah. John says, Andor was absolutely banger, but most people don't have the attention span for that kind of storytelling. Also, I want the B2 droid I already have. Wait. Oh, I want the B2 droid. I already have R2-D2, BB-8, and Lola. Damn, that's pretty cool. Do you have Chopper, though? He's pretty cool. Might kill you in your sleep, but he's pretty cool. But yes, Andor is pretty banger. To not have the attention span to just watch 12 episodes of television is baffling to me. I understand nowadays the whole algorithm-based thing of TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels, like all that's just really split-second thing, like just swipe. But if you're not able to just enjoy 12 episodes of incredible television, I don't know what's your problem, you know? What's your problem? You know? Is $230 million really that much? Well, yes and no. I mean, when you look at it compared to like Rings of Power, which costs $1 billion, no. But you look at it versus other Star Wars projects that only cost $120 million or $100 million, then yeah. I'm a big Acolyte fan. I am. I absolutely am. However, Ahsoka, to me, is the single best season of Star Wars live-action television. And that cost less than half to make. Less than half to make. So somehow, somewhere, all this money got thrown out or burned, or I don't know. I don't know where it went. But the Acolyte, when you watch it, it doesn't scream $250 million. It just doesn't. Animated movies make a lot of money. Animated shows don't. They get low ratings. Well, animated shows don't get really low ratings. I mean, The Clone Wars is one of the highest rated Star Wars things ever. Ever. Let's actually check that out. Clone Wars Rotten Tomatoes score. So the movie has a very low score, but the show, 93. 91 audience score, but 93. So they don't get bad ratings. They just don't get a lot of views. The hardcore Star Wars fans who will watch everything will watch it, and it's incredible storytelling, so it gets this really high view. But not all normie Star Wars fans are going to sit down and watch the animated shows. Talk about attention span. It's 7 seasons. 24 episodes pretty much for the majority of the seasons. Yeah. But I agree with you that animated movies, especially nowadays, make a lot of money because they cost less to make. So when you look at like the Into the Spider-Verse movies or the Into the Spider-Verse movie, why can't I think of another animated movie? Oh, the Mario movie. Excuse me. The Mario movie, or like a Pixar movie, like the Inside Out 2. I appreciate the hearts, guys. I really do. Jeez, I'm losing my voice today. When you look at all those animated movies, they make $1 billion, and most of that is profit because it only cost $100 million to make rather than $500 million to make. You know? At one point in the middle of the Acolyte season, a whole bunch of people performatively forgot how Star Wars canon worked to be mad at it. Yeah, but I think we've come past that. Yeah. Is it only 4 hours and 26 minutes of runtime? That is crazy. Actually, it's not that crazy when you think about that. Hang on, put this into perspective for me, chat. How does this math? Okay? Bear with me for a second. Mystic Troll says the runtime for the whole first season of The Acolyte is 4 hours and 26 minutes. If that's true, now, not comparing it to other Star Wars shows, but comparing it to Star Wars movies, Rise of Skywalker is what, 2.5 hours, 3 hours at most? And it costs half that to make The Acolyte? I say almost once a stream that the math is not mathing. Usually it pertains to the polls that we do in the chat, but the math is not mathing. What is going on here? How is it possible that a show that runs double in length of a movie costs half than the movie? Something's not adding up here, chat. Something is not adding up. Does this make sense to anybody else? Does anybody else get this? Can some mathematician join the stream, please? I need some math answers immediately. Hodges says, for me, The Acolyte is way better value for money than The Rise of Skywalker. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. Maybe not everybody will agree with that, but I agree with that. And it costs like almost half. You know? Wild Robot from DreamWorks looks like a good animated movie. It might have a big budget. I have seen that. I've heard that's going to be really good. Doesn't that come out really soon, actually? According to IMDb, Rise of Skywalker cost $275 million. Okay, let's check that out. Then why did it tell me 416? Oh, maybe the 416 was with plus marketing and stuff. Let's see. How much? Here we go. It says it was $300 million to produce, but I'm guessing the rest must have been marketing, huh? $100 million in marketing is insane. It's insane. A new Acolyte show, A Stranger, comes a-knocking. I wouldn't... Well, let's ask this. For those of you who want an Acolyte Season 2, would you be okay if they just changed the name? Oh, Wild Robot's out now? And it was good? That's cool. That's cool. Would people be okay if they just changed the name of the show and kind of kept it going? Maybe they time jump it or something with more Plagueis, more Chimere, all that stuff. What if they made a Darth Plagueis show? Now, the title of this stream is The Acolyte, whatever, but it also says more Darth Plagueis coming. They introduced Plagueis in this Acolyte show for a reason. This is not the first and last time we will ever see this Sith Lord in live action. There's no way. So would you want to see a Darth Plagueis show? It could be multiple seasons, start with Osha and Chimere in that story, and then it could go on to become a young Palpatine show. Sounds like a no-brainer to me. See? Exactly. They should make a sequel, just not call it The Acolyte. You know? If they change the name, whatever they do, they just have to finish the story one way or another. That's a big problem too, is they left a story unfinished that a lot of fans wanted to see the end of. You know? The problem is, the first season is called The Acolyte. And Acolyte Season 2, I mean, unless it focuses solely on Osha, wouldn't technically be The Acolyte. What is going on here? Weird. I don't know. I love a Darth Plagueis show based off of the books. Well, the book is kind of hard to make canon, especially now. There's a lot of things in that book that just can't be made canon now. But I wouldn't mind seeing a Plagueis story based off that book, or at least semi-based off that book. I feel like a Plagueis show, or even a young Palpatine show, seems to be a no-brainer. Seems to be an instant money maker. You know? The Acolyte had a lot of in-place film as well. The forest parts. Setting up audio recordings and lighting for real places is much more expensive than working with CGI scenarios. I understand that. But how much more expensive? You know? Acolyte wasn't shot in Hollywood's backyards, like all the other shows except for Andor. But is that a good thing or a bad thing? Is the Acolyte being more expensive a good thing or a bad thing? Now, before you say it's a bad thing because the Acolyte wasn't good if you don't like it, actually put this into perspective, because the next show, this is the reaction to this, a lot of money being spent on the Acolyte and it not going well, is going to sway how the next show goes. So, is spending more money on real sets, better lightsaber duels, worth it? Is it worth it? I don't know. Would you rather watch a show of the quality level of The Mandalorian or The Book of Boba Fett? Or would you rather watch a show from the quality level of The Acolyte and take the stories out of it? That seems to be the question now. They better not recast Chimere. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is like Manny Jacinto. If there's one thing that I think needs to continue out of The Acolyte however they can, it's Manny Jacinto's character of Chimere. And Manny Jacinto specifically as the character. He still says it's his lifelong goal to it's his lifelong goal to make a second season happen, or at least more stories happen with this character. Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of 6 p.m.s from that conversation earlier. Maybe we'll make Saturdays 6 p.m.s if that works for you guys. Yeah, no? Yeah, no? So maybe something nefarious was going on after all. Rings of Powers, same amount of episodes, but each is 2 times longer and better visually. Not sure what's going on. I feel like we just don't have all the information here. You know? There's just something missing from this whole conversation. I don't know what it is, but there's something missing. You know? Raising someone from the dead is definitely not cost effective. Yeah, Rise of Skywalker was really expensive because they had to raise a person from the dead. Crazy. Rogue One was $280 million. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Brandon Tran says 230 million used a lot of money to make the Acolyte. Wish Kenobi got a lot of that budget instead. It looks like a fan film. Yeah, I mean that becomes the question now. Is 230 a bad thing because it's used on the Acolyte? Or is it just too much money? Would you like to see more money be spent on these Disney Plus shows? Because a lot of fans were not that happy with Kenobi or certain scenes in the Book of Boba Fett, CGI-wise. What do we think? TJ, what's up? Kevin says, Star Wars will use the Acolyte cast in future projects. The problem with that, Kevin, is where? The Acolyte takes place 100 years before The Phantom Menace. So I understand seeing other characters in different spots. Like, we talk about Cal Kestis showing up in live action in the Mandoverse, or Kay Vess showing up in the Mandoverse, or Honda Unaka showing up in the Skeleton Crew, because that's possible. With the characters from the Acolyte, that's impossible. Because it's 100 years before, so they're either all dead, or they aren't in the prequel trilogy. You know? Star Wars focus going to be on Acolyte, Andor Season 2, Skeleton Crew, Andor Season 2, and Ahsoka Season 2. Yes, absolutely. Because those are the upcoming projects. I'm curious to know what the budget for Andor Season 2 is. We know Skeleton Crew is $136 million, which is not cheap, but it's still $100 million less than the Acolyte. But Andor Season 2 is an interesting one because the first season cost $260 million. I wonder if the second season costs more, because they did have to go back and do the reshoots. They had to stop filming because of the strikes in Hollywood. It'll be interesting. Did you hear that there's a Lego Chopper coming out in 2025? I did not. I did not. Are we talking about review ratings or viewership ratings? What do you mean? Oh, you mean like the critics' reviews or the viewership reviews? When we talk about the 13% coming into the premiere, that's audience score. So that's the viewers' reviews. Yeah. The critics themselves actually really enjoyed the show. I think it might now sit at like a 79 or something, but when it first released, it was in the 90s, I believe. Or either high 80s, low 90s, something like that. I love the Ahsoka series. Me too. Me too. Worthwhile. I agree that the Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch, they're all worth watching. They're some of the greatest Star Wars stories ever told in animation. But it doesn't stop the fact that most normie Star Wars fans just don't watch that stuff, which is a bummer. I urge them all to, but, you know. Mike, I gotta say, The Fifth Element, yeah. No. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it. I'm a busy guy. I literally had to postpone my stream 4 hours today. You think I got time to watch The Fifth Element? You understand that tomorrow I want to get this What If out, okay? So we talked about this. I'm going to give you guys another sneak peek today. We talked about this. Oh, that just reminded me. Hang on. Before we even get to this. Yeah, before we get to this. Hang on. Before we get to this sneak peek here, yeah, let's talk about this first. Okay, so before we get to this, we do have a giveaway today. This is the last stream of the month, and that means we got a giveaway. So if you are a member, you have instant access to this giveaway. And yes, as I said before, this is the biggest giveaway in channel history. So if you are not yet a member, you should probably think about it because it's only 99 cents, and you will have a 1 in about 75 to 80-ish chance to win Din Djarin's helmet. We have done it, chat. We have done it. We've gotten to the point on this channel where we're able to, because we have so many members, and because we have so many awesome people who support the channel, we have the ability to give away awesome, cool stuff. Not that the stuff before wasn't cool. We were giving away pop figures to start. We were giving away some Lego sets, some t-shirts, all that stuff. But now we have the chance to do something great. So if you're not yet a member, you can still become one right now and steal this away from all the other members. But you'll have like a 1 in 80-ish chance to win Din Djarin's helmet. So, yeah. We'll leave it at that. That will happen later on in the stream, but I want to give you guys a sneak peek at tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. Guys, you have no idea. I haven't been home until about an hour ago, and I just got home, and I got to work on stuff. Because after this live stream, I'm probably going to be working till the wee early morning working on this. Hopefully not too long. But I have it fully recorded. I just need to edit it, and that doesn't sound like it'll take long, but it takes a long time. So the story itself has been written. It's been recorded, and I'm working on the editing right now, or not currently, but I was before the stream. I'm going to be after the stream for the rest of the night, and I'm going to try to get this out by tomorrow. If for some reason I am not able to get this done by tomorrow, I have failed. I have failed you guys. I have failed everybody. But I'm going to try my best to get this out to you guys by tomorrow. But the what if is, what if Darth Maul killed Palpatine on Mandalore? And if I do say so myself, it is the best what if I've ever written. Now, with that being said, I've only written like 2, but it is the best one, I think. From the Dooku stuff to the Grievous stuff to the Jedi stuff to the Maul stuff. It's really fun. So watch out for that tomorrow. And of course, giveaway today. I don't know why I started this whole rant. Something about being a busy guy. Oh, yeah. So I just got home just a little bit ago. So I got to do this, really, So I don't know what started this, but yeah. Giveaway today and watch out for that tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, that's why, because I couldn't watch The Fifth Element. I'm a busy guy, so I definitely can't watch it tonight, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Catherine, what's up? You need an accountant to do this problem? I think so. I think I do. Mike, you can use this opportunity to mess with your phone's AI. Just ask if they can figure out that math. I don't know. I don't think they're that smart. Siri honestly doesn't even answer me anymore. I'm like, what's up, Siri? And she's like, she gives me the silent treatment, What's up with that? What's up with that? Cost for a movie, consider way more expensive actors, more special effects, and more locations. But, I mean, talking about actors, the Acolyte, maybe that's where a lot of the money went. Actually, that's a great point. When you think about where the money go, you got big name actors in this show. Li Zhang-Cha, or I apologize if I mispronounced his name, JJ, he's coming off of the hottest show ever on Netflix, which was Squid Games, so he probably wasn't that cheap. Carrie-Anne Moss, she couldn't possibly have been cheap. Even Daphne Keane, although she's a younger actress, she probably wasn't that cheap. Amanda Steinberg's coming from Hunger Games. She can't be cheap. There's a lot of big actors in that show. So maybe that could be a possibility. That could be a part of it. Could be part of it. I think we did get a new member off stream. I might have to do the membership song. Hang on. I have to double check. Oh, indeed we did. As Ronald White. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Ron White at the Padawan level, I believe. Padawan level. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Memberships, super chats, of course. Keep the lights on over here. And, of course, you get instant access to today's giveaway. Yeah. Amanda says, by the way, if you take out the beginning part and end credit part of the Acolyte, the amount of show, you really can't... Oh, wait. You really can't be half of a movie? I can't believe that. What? What are you talking about? It's double a movie. It's double the movie. You know? Brandon says, Wild Robot came out this weekend. Director Chris Sanders did Hawaii Disney movie with Lilo and Stitch. Both Mark Hamill and Pedro Pascal are voice actors in the movie. I have heard good things about the movie. I did not know that it happened over the weekend, though. I did not know it came out. Yeah. I did not know that. Force Awakens budget was $553 million. No, it doesn't. We just looked it up. It was 306. Yeah. Hodges almost got the 6-month badge. That's crazy. I also want to... it just go down to the bottom. No. TJ says, why did you get triggered when the Acolyte was canceled? What? I get triggered by it? I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. I was upset when the Acolyte got canceled because I wanted to see more of those characters, if that's what you mean. Yeah, no? Yeah, no? Another Mike who loves Star Wars says, dude, the last fight scene and ship battles in Rogue One must have cost a fortune. Some of the best special effects in all of Star Wars. Yeah, Rogue One visually is probably one of the best Star Wars movies ever created. Actually, it might be the best Star Wars movie ever created. Just visually. Yeah. Yeah. If the Acolyte was loved by all, then no one would give a flying nerf herder about what the cost was. That is true, and I think that has to be put into account. Like I said before, if The Mandalorian was this budget, would we be having this conversation? No, we wouldn't. So it does have to do with this whole, Acolyte situation. Amanda says it's more impressive when a good story can be told using less money. I keep saying this. Alien Romulus was only $80 million and it had beautiful space shots. The Acolyte shouldn't have been that expensive. It is impressive when they use such a short or low budget to create incredible movies. Think about last year when Godzilla -1 came out and that only cost $15 million. And they were like, how the hell did you do this? I don't know. I would love to see a breakdown of where all this money went. Love to. Yeah. Mystic Troll says, make a completely different show set 99 years before The Phantom Menace with the same cast, problem solved. I think they should probably call that The Acolyte Season 2, no? I mean, you could call it anything else, but a good sounding name rolls off the tongue. The Acolyte Season 2. Yeah. Kevin says, do you think the Mandalorian series is really over, or is that just a clickbait article? The Mandalorian series on Disney Plus, I do believe, is over. Yeah. I think 3 seasons is the end of that, and I think Din and Grogu might show up in different shows on Disney Plus, but not their own. They'll most likely only live on the big screen. Hopefully, it's because we're getting a Mando trilogy, but that remains to be seen. You know? One of the greatest sci-fi show. Wait. Ricky says one of the greatest sci-fi shows, and we don't have enough time to watch it? Oh, yeah. Andor. I understand. I understand. Hi, Hodges says, ooh, we're getting another What If. I'm excited. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. You got to put some time aside for the Fifth Element, Mike. I got to put some time aside for some sleep. That's what I got to do. Because I'm not getting any tonight. God. Can I get some good cups full of orders in the chat, please? I'm already exhausted. Bumpa. And I got to do like 5 hours of editing after this. It's going to be a long night, chat. It's going to be a long night. Okay. That's a shiny helmet. Yeah, it is. Who doesn't want this? Come on, chat. Come on. All right. Another Mike who loves Star Wars says, that's awesome about both the Acolyte and Ahsoka. What's awesome about the Acolyte and Ahsoka is that they both introduce new worlds and pull deep from Legends lore. It encourages speculation from fans to discuss more than any other shows. That is true. The Acolyte, more than anything, and that's why I enjoyed it so much, was week to week, it had us speculating. Like every single week. What was going to happen next? Who's this? Who's that? This, that, do that. And the Ahsoka show was the same way. You can't say the same about most Star Wars projects. So it was impressive. And yes, it introduced new worlds, pulled stuff from lore and all that stuff. Cortosis, like it introduced really cool aspects, new aspects and old, to the Star Wars universe. You know? Oh my God, Ian. That is so crazy. I appreciate the highs, guys. I really do. I'd only watch an Acolyte Season 2 just to see more Plagueis, Palpatine, and more Chimere. That's it. Well, Palpatine probably wouldn't be in it because he's not around for quite a while. But, yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to see more Plagueis and Chimere? Yeah, no? Yeah, no? The answer to that what if would be Oscar Isaac saying somehow Maul returned. Well, so many people give crap about Palpatine returning, which some of it's valid, but Maul did the same thing just a decade before with George Lucas, and nobody seemed to have a problem with that. It's about execution, you know? You can bring back anybody from the dead if you do it right. Yeah, no? I'd personally rather have a Season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett than a Season 2 of The Acolyte. I'd love a Season 2 of Boba Fett. I think Boba Fett is probably one of the most underrated. It's the most underrated live-action show. But it's one of the most underrated shows in general when it comes to Star Wars. You know? Anakin, what's up? Hi, host. I have a name. But yeah, Book of Boba Fett, I think, has the possibility to go do whatever it wants in a second season. That's what's cool. It can take the sort of failures from the first season, which was everybody calling him Beta Fett, not seeing enough badass Boba, seeing the Vespa gang, take all those sort of, not failures, but, you know, like missteps, alter them, and make a great Season 2. You can bring back Mace if you want, like so many people want to, but you can do a million different things. Bring in Kira in the Crimson Dawn, bring in other syndicates, the Hutts, whatever you want to do. There's so much story. Han Solo, Han and Boba have quite the past. It'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Lee says, my trip to Japan for Star Wars Celebration 2025 might just now include going to Korea. That's wild. That's wild. Just scroll down to the bottom. I hate when this happens. I appreciate the good guys follow order shit. Andy K, what's up? What is up? Okay. Are they making another Acolyte? No. Not as far as we're aware. I mean, maybe they are behind the scenes, but I doubt it. The entire show should have been from the Sith's point of view. It would have been a lot better. I mean, maybe, but there wouldn't really be much plot there, would there? If it was just from Plagueis' point of view in the cave. If you're going to do a fully Sith-centered show, you should probably do it in the Old Republic when there's a lot of Sith around. And they can make themselves known to the Jedi. You know? Do the hearts help the stream stats? I don't know. I have no clue, actually. Maybe. I just like seeing them. You know? Yeah, no? Oh, another Mike who loves Star Wars with a very generous $5 holla. God damn. 10th ever super chat. That's crazy. He says, love your streams, Mike. Keep up the great work. I appreciate that. Says, gotta go watch Dexter with my son. Later, chat. May the force be with you. I appreciate that. Another Mike who loves Star Wars. Great name, by the way. And tell your son we all say hi and go enjoy Dexter. Is Dexter still going on? I've never seen Dexter, but I thought it was over. Am I wrong? I appreciate that. Super chats are very, very generous. Keep the lights on over here. It would be really funny if my lights just turned off one day because you guys stopped sending super chats. Like I just opened up a stream and it was just a black screen. And I was like, guys, you stopped sending super chats. I can't turn the lights on anymore. It'd be pretty funny. Oh, guys, I'm so out of it. I've had such a long day. But let's not forget that we hit 90,000 subscribers live on Thursday's stream. So let's celebrate, shall we? $90,000 subscribers is absolutely insane. And of course, I'm sure as many of you know, this cup will be dumped on my head, full of water, dumped on my head, maybe blue milk, dumped on my head. When I hit 100K. So we're getting close. We're getting pretty close. But I appreciate it, Mike. I really, really do. All right. Where was I? Do the hearts help the stream? Oh, yeah. Do you think Star Wars Celebration in Japan in 2025 will be live streamed to Disney Plus? Probably not, but that's a great idea. They usually live stream it to their YouTube channel, or they live stream certain events, I believe. Certain stuff to their YouTube channel. So I don't know. That would be a great idea. I mean, they're starting those live channels on Disney Plus. So I wonder if they'll do that. That's pretty good. What did you miss? I don't know. We've just been talking Acolyte for an hour and 20 minutes. You haven't missed much. The Acolyte cost $230 million to make. That's what you missed. Somehow, somewhere, they spent that much money. The Book of Boba Fett is underrated for sure. It had its issues, but what doesn't? And yeah, obviously it has its issues, but it still has two of the greatest episodes of Star Wars television. From the Desert Comes a Stranger is probably my number 2, behind Shadow Warrior from Ahsoka. It's that good. It's not only the first introduction of Cad Bane into live action, but it's Cobb Vanth versus Cad Bane. That's how it starts the episode. Actually, no, sorry, that's the end of the episode. It starts with Cobb Vanth, though, on Tatooine. Then we get Luke training Grogu. Luke and Ahsoka on the same screen at the same time. Luke training Grogu. What more can you ask for? Honestly. It might be the greatest episode, second greatest episode, but you know, whatever. Yeah. And then the one before that is the M1 Starfighter episode with Din Djarin. Now, you might say, Mike, those are just Mando season 2.5 episodes, and I agree. But they're still in the Book of Boba Fett. So, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Do I want to hear something? Yes, always. Jan, what's up? Says, wasn't the Acolyte about Osha's fall to the dark side? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the Acolyte, the name is the Acolyte, and the Acolyte becomes Osha by the end of the show. So it's sort of just her going from, when you rewatch it now, her going from the opening scene where she's fully a light side, former Jedi, good person to a Sith. Pretty incredible. Aaron says, Boba has plenty of room left to continue, but it at least comes with a pretty satisfying conclusion. The Acolyte left us totally hanging as it teased us that there was more to come. Yeah. And that's why so many people want a second season of The Acolyte, because if they liked the first season, they're going to want more of those characters. That's what I don't really understand. Even if you don't like The Acolyte, can't you understand that some people who did want to see more of those characters? You know? I enjoyed the Book of Boba Fett. A cool take on the part of his journey. Rancor ride was fun AF. The Rancor stuff was cool. My problem with the Book of Boba Fett actually just is Boba Fett. That's pretty much it. Everything else around it, other than the Vespa gang, is pretty damn good. Chrysanthemum's cool. Getting Cad Bane live action's awesome. The Mando stuff is fantastic. Even the flashbacks of Boba Fett are really cool. It's the current day Boba Fett that's trying to rule with respect. Feels so off from the original Boba Fett that we know and love. Now, maybe that's because we didn't really know the original Boba Fett. He only has like 4 lines in the original trilogy. Maybe we just hyped him up in our own heads, you know? The Acolyte wasn't Sith-oriented, though. Chimere even said that only the Jedi would call him a Sith, but that he has no name, meaning that he is not a Sith, just different from what the Jedi see. Yeah, but no. You know? Oh my God. What is going on? Okay. Man, I don't even have over 900 subscribers. Well, let's do this. Oh, I already am. Sorry. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. Has anyone actually ever read the Book of Boba Fett? Oh, funny. Funny. Yeah. I thought the budget of The Acolyte was 180 million. So didn't we all. So didn't we all. The Book of Boba Fett Season 2 needs to be rated R and aimed towards a more adult audience like Andor. That'll make it better. I disagree. I don't think any Star Wars should ever be rated R for a few reasons. First of all, George Lucas always claims and says that Star Wars was made for kids. And when I say kids, I don't mean like 2-year-olds. I mean probably 13, 14-year-olds, teenagers. And that's sort of how it should be. The Acolyte was the craziest you can sort of get without becoming rated R, pretty much. Chopping off heads, snapping necks, stuff like that. And there's room for that in Star Wars. There's room for Anakin burning alive in the fiery pits of Mustafar. But I don't think there's room for swearing like F-bombs and stuff. Like maybe you could say like hell or shit like they do in Andor. But like F-bombs and crazy stuff like that. Or even just gruesome, gross stuff like bloody, broken limbs or like... I don't think there's... Like, Star Wars isn't the place for that. You can go see that in other places, like if you want to watch The Boys or whatever. But Star Wars isn't like that, you know? I don't think... Yeah. I don't think so. Why can't a series be rated R? Well, that kind of just explained that, no? I don't think it can't be, physically. There could be one. I just don't think that's the right thing for the brand. Star Wars has always been made for a younger audience. And yes, an older audience still watches it, but do you really want something like what would be rated R that you'd want to see in a show that couldn't be made PG-13? That's my question. You know? What would be so crazy to see that's rated R that you couldn't fit or dwindle down into a PG-13 thing? You know? Where did that extra $50 million go to? I don't know. I don't know. Sith, I guess. Sith butt? Sith butt? Bantha doo-doo? Oh my god, you guys are losing your minds. You guys are losing your minds today in the chat. I don't think an R or mature rating is necessary for Star Wars. Andor gave us gritty, grounded, adult-oriented story without anything overly explicit or violent, etc. Exactly. And Andor's fantastic. It's nowhere close to being rated R by any means. Do we have our minds? Do we have our minds in the first place? Oh, I don't know. Did you? Did you? Did ya? Crazy. A close-up of the bottom of Mace Windu's lightsaber, where it says, "Mother effer." No joke. He said it in an interview one time. I believe it says BMF for bad MF. You know, honest. Yeah. I don't think it said that in the movies though. That's just after the fact. You know. Well, okay. I mean, a Boba Fett series that's more like Andor. You could definitely do that. A more serious tone like that, but that's not rated R, you know? Yeah, no? I'm going to see my new baby cousin tomorrow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Tell your baby cousin that I say hi. And tell them to watch Star Wars. Yeah. All right, let's do this giveaway, shall we? Let's give... Oh, my God, John. Let's do this giveaway. Holy shit, you guys are losing your minds today. Losing them. All right, let's do this giveaway of the Mandalorian Din Djarin himself's helmet. Shall we? Okay. Let's get this list of members up on the screen. If you want to become a member, this is your last chance to come steal this great membership. This great prize from somebody. Where do I get this list? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Much better. All right. So if you see your name on this list, then you are instantly 1 in 75 chance. 1 in 75 chance to win Din Djarin's helmet. Starting at number 1. Oh, Cat's Paw reached a year membership. So did Finn. That's so cool. I have to talk to her about that. Okay. From Finn being number 1 all the way to XGZkai, okay, being number 75. So if you see your name on this list, you have a 1 in 75 chance to win this Mando helmet, okay? So first things first, we got to spin this wheel. 75, okay. So here's the wheel. We're going to spin it. There you go. You saw you up there? Is that a sign? It could be. Maybe it's because you remember. All right, let's spin it. Spin the wheel. Such a satisfying noise, you know? Ooh, in the high 60s. 68. 1 off of the greatest number. Okay, that means we get to count down. 68 is a very new member here. Starting from the top, we'll count down. Starting at 75, 74, 73, 72, 71, 70, 69, 68. James Frazier. You are our winner of the Mando helmet, James. I don't know if James is here today, but he's around a lot of live streams. I don't think he's here today. James, you out there? I don't think so, but James, hit me up on either Discord or Instagram or Twitter, wherever you want. Hit me up in the DMs so we can get this out to you as soon as possible. Congratulations to James Frazier. I appreciate the support from all the members. Of course, the giveaways just keep on getting bigger. It is very, very nice, but it's because of you guys. Yeah. I saw somebody ask, how do you become a member? So I can explain that actually very quickly. So there's a link in the description of this video right here. that you are watching right now, this live stream. And I'll even show you. I'll even show you. All right, so if you come to this live stream, which I'll do right now. How do I go to my own live stream? No, that's not what I want to do. View your channel, maybe? Let's see. Oh, here we go. So if you come to the live stream, there's my pretty face right there. So if you scroll down here, in this description, you click on it, and right there's two links. One to the Discord. If you guys are not yet in the Discord, there's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. So go join that. But there's two links here. One for the Discord and one to become a member. So you just click on this. It'll take you to this. Join to become a member. 99 cents. You get this cool badge. Members only portion of the Discord. All that. Knight member gets more stuff. And then Master member gets a lightsaber after a whole year. But yeah. So it's only 99 cents there. So it's in the description of every video I post for the most part. So, yeah. All right, let me write down James's name so I don't forget. James Frazier. Perfect. Okay. That's pretty awesome. Pretty damn cool. We almost had 69. Almost. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. They should make a series about... Oh, my God. You guys are crazy. Okay. Where was I? Let me end this poll, by the way. Let's see where this poll ended at. With over 100 votes in this poll. God damn. Do you guys want a season 2 of The Acolyte still? 62% of you guys still said yes. It's crazy. I mean, obviously we have a more of a I guess Acolyte fandom around the channel than most other places, but that's a lot. That's a majority of this chat right now by quite a bit. You know? Quite a bit. Wow. John says, yes, Mike, we are crazy, but that's why we're here. We are all crazy because we are not all there. What? Yeah. Okay. Okay, moving on. Moving on. You guys want to hear something crazy? How about this? New details about the Star Wars prequel trilogy reveals that George Lucas has 3 more movies worth of unused footage that provides new information about the brutal original version of the Anakin and Obi-Wan duel. 3 more movies. Crazy. All right, let's read this article if it exists. There we go. Over recent years, the Star Wars prequels have received a resurgence in praise. That's for sure. The prequels when they came out were quite hated on by the critics, but I think the fans sort of, in the background, were always loving them. But let's keep reading. Primarily driven by those who grew up with the films, expressed their endless adoration for the 3 fantasy classics from George Lucas. In a recent interview with Chris Castigliani, Star Wars stunt coordinator Nick Gillard revealed lots of exciting, never before heard details about the prequel trilogy. Gillard revealed that George Lucas filmed so much more footage for the prequels that there are 3 more movies in footage left on the cutting room floor across the 3 films. These, well, first of all, let's talk about this. People know that Revenge of the Sith, it was once 4 hours. So there's a lot more to that movie that we didn't get to see. Because you can't make a movie that's 4 hours. I mean, maybe you could, but you couldn't. So there was a lot more to that movie. But this is saying that there's more to all 3 movies. So much more footage was left on the cutting room floor that there's 3 movies worth of it. That wouldn't really make much sense. It would just be added on scenes to the movies themselves, but that's a lot of footage. That's 6 hours plus of footage, which is crazy. And yes, 4-hour long version of that. More iconic battles between Obi-Wan and Anakin in Revenge of the Sith was also revealed in the interview. More about the iconic battle. A version of this scene was filmed where Anakin grabs Obi-Wan from the throat, disarming him and saying, "I'm really sorry, you have to be killed." Jeez. Anakin then proceeds to try to cut off Obi-Wan's head. Holy crap. A move which was deflected by Obi-Wan to cut Anakin's arm off. Yeesh. Gillard stated that he and the team hated the infamous high ground scene in Revenge of the Sith, and they campaigned as hard as they could to get it changed, but George Lucas was not having it. That's funny. They didn't like the Eye of the High Ground scene, and now it's one of the most iconic scenes in Star Wars. He explains that he believes that the scene in the final cut was Steven Spielberg's idea. Wow, interesting. The more you know. Gillard played the Jedi Sindrellic, as you can see here, in Revenge of the Sith, and is briefly dueling Hayden Christensen's Anakin Skywalker via hologram. Gillard provided new details about the original version of this scene that was filmed. Anakin stabs a small girl right through the throat, holds her up, and while he grabs another one. It was nasty. There's a reason this stuff was cut, chat. There's a reason this stuff was cut. Jeez. That's crazy. That's just too dark for Anakin, I think. Gillard also explained that Lucas was involved in every department of making the prequels, from cinematography, visual effects, art direction, film choreography, costume design, sound production, production design, casting, acting, blah, 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 and more. So there's a whole interview down there. But that's pretty wild. So it seems like Revenge of the Sith, although it was already rated PG-13, was going to be even more dark, which sounds absolutely crazy. But there you have it, from Nick Gillard himself. Yeah. Yeah. Can you share this link in the chat, Mike? What link? Probably not. I don't see a link. I don't think you guys can send links in the chat, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Actually, filming on any movie is usually 10 hours, and then they cut it down to 1.5 to 3 hours. That makes sense because when I record my videos, they're usually like an hour, and then they cut down to like 15 minutes. Yeah. That does make sense. Anakin should have been a redhead, given how many souls he took during Order 66. Yikes. That page you just showed. Oh, share the link to the chat. Oh, I already closed it. Son of a bitch. Well, wait, maybe I didn't. I didn't. Okay, we're good. We are good. You want this link, you're saying? I can do that. Share. Copy link. Paste. Hopefully that's it. I don't know. I just sent it to the Discord. I sent it to the chat. Yeah. George was an executive producer. An executive producer oversees everything. That's true, but some executive producers they're not as hands-on as others, you know? Yeah, no? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I prefer Dark Anakin over Darth Vader. Nah. Oh my god. As we love the stranger's savage aggression in the Acolyte means it may happen again in the future. Well, that's the weird thing too, is the Stranger is probably the greatest character that's been introduced, in my personal opinion, since Disney bought the company back in 2012. Yes, you have some great characters, like Cal Kestis, like Din Djarin, like Fennec Shand, like Harrison Dula, Kanan, Ezra. Who else? There's some really great ones. Chimera takes the cake. For me, it's just not even close. He's the first Sith that's been introduced since Dooku. And he's so cool. So for me, even with this news of the $230 million budget, any way I can get more of Chimera, specifically the Stranger, any chance I can get more of his story, whether that's Acolyte Season 2 or anywhere else, I want it. I want it. Yeah.
Execute Order 66.
Yeah. Okay. Nathan, what's up? You going on vacation to Colorado tomorrow? That's awesome. The page I showed you last? You mean this? To this page? Is this what you're talking about? There you go. There you go. All right, here's what we're going to do. We went over that. I think we're going to get on out of here. Actually, do you guys want to do call-ins today? Give me a 1 into the chat if you guys want to do call-ins on the Discord, because we could do that before we get on out of here. We could do that. Yeah, let's do that. All right, I'm going to open up a stage. In the Discord for call-ins. So you can join that stage, raise your hand, and I will get you on in here. We'll do a few of them, and then we'll go from there. I gotta do this what if video by the end of the night, and I'm already falling asleep in my chair right now. All right, I just opened up that call-in thing, the call-in stage on the Discord. So if you want to call in, you can. Whew. David, what's up? What's up? I appreciate it, Christopher. I really do. What time is it for me? Right now it's 7:43 p.m. 7:43. Yeah. Indeed. Okay. So we did the giveaway. We talked about that. Oh, Cal Kestis is coming to live action. We didn't really touch on that much, but we did that on Thursday. We did do that on Thursday. It's 12:43 here. Well, all you guys that put ones in the chat are just lying to me because nobody wants to do call-ins. That's probably fine. I mean, we can do call-ins next time. What's funny about that, Universal, is that the majority of call-ins we get on this channel are mostly women. You know? Okay. I think we're going to get on out of here because nobody wants to do call-in. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Oh, wait. Maybe. Get Fisto? Possibly. 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 It's 1 in the morning over there. What the hell are you doing? Anakin's got a question. What's your question? What's your question? You don't have to say, I got a question. You can just ask the question. Oh, here we go. Kid Fisto, let's get you on in here. Kid Fisto, what is up? Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Hey,
What is up?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
you got to mute the stream behind you. It's echoing.
Wait, hold on. Is that better? I closed the whole tab.
That is. Nope,
Okay.
I'm still echoing, but that's fine. All right.
I have no idea what we're doing. Sorry.
No worries. Okay. We'll just deal with the awesome, cool echo. All right. First things first, the Acolyte. How the hell do you think they spent 200? Where did this money go, Kit Fisto? Please give me the answers that I'm looking for.
So, I mean, I didn't watch your stream obviously because I was eating dinner, but I think a lot of it has to do with sets they built because they didn't use the volume like Kenobi and Ahsoka use it. I don't know, but I would think like because the sets they made were pretty cool and pretty dang good, so I don't know. And then like there were a lot of I guess there were a lot of cast involved. I really haven't. I have questions too, and I need to watch your streams to figure out. So
No worries. Yeah.
Haja is
What?
sorry.
Oh no. Yeah. No. It fully makes sense to me. The echo is really crazy. Thank you. Yes, I understand that the sets are crazy. Honestly, what was crazy was how expensive Rise of Skywalker was to me. But I don't know. All right. Well, Kit Fisto, we'll ask you a non-stream related question then, shall we? Do you want an Acolyte season 2?
I absolutely do. I'm all for this show, and like I do understand that it will probably draw like a lot of hate if or like there's gonna be tons of people crapping on it if they make another season. Like personally, I do want another. I want more Plagueis. I want more Chimere and Osha and everybody else. Yeah, this is.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You and me both. No, I absolutely agree. More Plagueis the better. A Plagueis show I would even prefer, honestly. But anyway, I get more Plagueis and more Chimere specifically. Chimere, more of the stranger, then yeah, I'm all for it. All right, well, we'll get you on out of here because I think Haja wants to come in, but we'll see about that.
Thanks so much.
No.
I think like.
You got any questions for me?
Not that I can think of, but I just think it's so mean to the audience to just create these awesome, cool characters and just not have more to the story. You know, like it just doesn't make sense to me.
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Thanks for having me.
Of
That's
course.
my first call in. All right, I'll leave now.
All right, I appreciate you, Kit Fisto. I really, really do. All right, we're gonna get Haja in here next. Hi, Haja. What's up?
Hello there. Good evening.
Hello there.
Yeah, no, everything's all good. Thank you very much. It's been a great stream, and I've enjoyed it.
Nice
Good to be here again.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad you're back. First things first. Let me just be clear with you. I'm falling asleep right now. Okay. I'm tired. I'm really, really tired. And I gotta go edit this what if video. So I tried to get out of here before doing these call-ins, and then you guys called in. So I'm like, why the hell am I talking to you? You know, like what's going on? What's going on?
Okay, well, hopefully I'll make it worth your while. A little Star Wars related story as to why I really like the Book of Boba Fett.
Let's hear it.
One of the big reasons for me, one of the big pull-ins is I'm a sign language interpreter. That's what I do for my job, for work. And they worked with a deaf guy to create the sign language for the sound people, the Tusken Raiders.
Really?
And he's a well-known deaf actor. And he was actually, he played one of the characters as well, and was a critical part of making the language in the show. And I just thought that was really cool from a deaf perspective.
That
there you go.
Really cool.
I hope that was worth your while.
That was very worth my while. I did not know that. You learn something new every day, you know? All right, well, before I get you out of here, you got to answer me this. Where did all this money go? $230 million.
I think the chances of calculations are approximately 3,720 to 1. I've got no idea. No idea.
It really doesn't make sense. Like, where could all that money have possibly gone? I understand from just a visual perspective, the show looks great. The lightsaber duels were extravagant, to say the least. Some of the biggest ones we've seen in a long time. But does it cost that much to do that? I don't know.
Yeah, but I do agree in terms of the quality of the show, the sets and stuff like that. They were pretty epic, and the overall quality of it. I thought it was from that point of view, and the costumes, and and stuff like that. I thought there was a lot of effort went into it. So it's kind of like I'm in an R-ing, but I still want more.
I agree. I still want more too. I mean, even if it costs $1 billion, I want more.
Yeah, $1 billion a minute. Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. Yeah. All right. Well, any crazy predictions for Skeleton Crew? That's what I'll leave you off on.
Crazy predictions. Maybe Neil is a bad guy, and we're all going to be like, dun dun dun. Working with Jod on the sly.
Okay. I love it. Neil's a bad guy the whole time. If you're right, then you deserve some type of award or something. I appreciate it. Hodge, I'm going to get you on out of here.
No worries. Good to chat. Take care.
I appreciate
May
you.
the force be with you all. Bye.
All right. Mike, you were just in here. Do you want to call in or no? It's fine if you don't. We'll close this thing. But maybe we'll do one more if somebody else wants to call in. I appreciate that. Kip Fisto, first ever call in iHodge, the return of iHodge. Yeah, Neil being a villain, that would be a surprise to be sure. I don't know about a welcome one, but a surprise to be sure. Definitely. Okay, cool. I'm gonna end that call-ins thing. I like doing some call-ins. Maybe on a day where I'm not so out of it, but I appreciate it. All right, Neil's a villain? No. Yeah, I'm going to get on out of here. You guys are the absolute best. Smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not yet. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video in my pretty face. We'll show up on the recommended feed of yours. Huge shout out for James for the big win today. Huge shout out to another Mike who loves Star Wars for the $5 holla. I appreciate it. I really, really do. Huge shout out to all you guys for coming by and watching the live stream. And amazing day. Because we hit 90,000 subscribers. Still blows my mind. I still don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it, but I appreciate it so much more than you will ever know. But with that being said, may the force be with you. Always. Oh yeah, what a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate every last one of you so much more than you will ever know. You can play Star Wars on your flute. That's epic. That is epic. That's a great way to end this stream. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Great rest of your lives. Hopefully, I will get this what if out to you guys by tomorrow, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. And good night, everybody.